Hello everyone, my name is Deep. Welcome to DeepWorks. In this video, we are going to explore how wait notify activity works in TIBCO BusinessWorks Container Edition. Let me share my screen. This is TIBCO Business Studio for BusinessWorks Container Edition, which is used to design and develop projects. This is a project explorer. For this video, we'll try to import an existing project. Right-click, import existing studio projects into workspace. Click on that option and choose the path where the projects are available. Click Browse. BusinessWorks Container Edition 2.9, Samples, App Space, Palette, General Activities, Wait Notify, and this is a sample project that is available. Click Finish, and this will import the project into our workspace. And expand processes folder. We have two processes. Once we double click that process, we see the process canvas, and this is where we can design our process flow. It is a timer-based starter process, which is writing log, wait notify log, and input is main process started the main process, and main process spawning non-inline subprocess. Non-inline subprocess is something which gets executed in a separate thread, not in the same thread as the main process. That's what it means. And we have this log activity which logs the same message. And then this is the subprocess which is spawned, which means that it will create a new thread and execute in a new thread. And once we go inside, this is the subprocess, which is having some business logic inside this, which we will get to see just in a minute. And once it's executed, the next activity is again a write file, which says main process waiting for the notification, and the log, which again logs the same message. And here we have the wait activity. And this wait activity will wait until this call process execution is completed. That's what it does. And if we see the logic inside this subprocess, we have a start activity. We write to log, and the message is like subprocess inline subprocess started. And then we log the same message. And here there is a sleep activity, which is having a 2000 millisecond, which is 2 seconds of sleep. This sleep activity is actually mimicking some real-time business logic, which takes two seconds to complete. And we have to wait for this business logic to be completed in order for our main process to complete. And here is the notify activity, which will notify once this business logic is completed to the main process, so that the process execution is completed end to end. So there are certain key things we have to pay attention. Once the notify is completed, it says notification sent to the waiting activity, and it writes the same log and then ends the subprocess. That's when the wait activity completes. And then we have a log message saying main process notification received from the other process with the data, and we have the result which is mapped from the wait activity. And then we have a write file activity which writes the same message to the log file. Here there is a message saying activity waiting to be notified for the same key. What is this key? In real time, this main process will receive several incoming events, and this process is executed several times. So how does one process instance knows that this subprocess has to notify the same main process? That is the key, right? So we have to send the input key to the calling process, which is the process instance ID, which is unique for each process instance that gets executed in real time. And this is sent as the key to the calling process. And in the wait, if you see the configuration, we have the key field, which is mapped from the start key, which is the process instance ID, and the notification timeout is 10,000 milliseconds, which means that the business logic, if it is taking more than 10 seconds, then the process times out and the execution completes without processing the actual business logic. And here again, the wait activity will be mapped with the same process instance ID so that it correlates the output coming from the calling process with the main process. And the timeout is again set to 10,000 milliseconds, which is like 10 seconds. Let's try to run this example so that we understand how it works. And I just wanted to increase the timeout a little bit because we will not be able to see the difference if it is just 2 seconds. So I will increase it to 20,000 milliseconds, which is like 20 seconds. And if my business logic is taking 20 seconds and I have a timeout of 10 seconds, I'm sure that we will not be able to finish the business logic and complete this process end to end. So I will increase this notification timeout to 100 seconds. We also need to increase this in the wait activity because we have to wait until the business logic is completed, which is taking 20 seconds as we know. So I have increased it to 100 seconds. And here there is a bug icon which is used to debug the project, and click on debug configurations, which will open the debug configurations window. And we have selected the processes which needs to be tested and click debug. It has changed the perspective. Up until now, we were in design perspective where we design the process. And when we wanted to debug, it changes to the debug perspective, which will have different windows open for us to better understand the debugging. And below is the console where the process is getting executed. So here Right now, I have executed and we are exactly waiting at the wait activity. Okay. I should have increased sleep timeout a little bit more so that we could. I'll increase the sleep timeout to 60 seconds. And we already have the wait activity waiting for 100 seconds, so we are good there. Now, let me debug this application again. Here is the console log, and okay, the main process started execution, and if you see, the main process is stuck at wait activity, and the subprocess is at the sleep activity, which is just mimicking the business logic. And in our case, it is going to take 60 seconds. And once 60 seconds is completed, the sleep activity notifies the main process, and then wait activity will be completed. And we will see that just in a minute. Okay, 60 seconds is completed, and once the sleep is done, it will notify, then write the log and ends the sub process. That's when wait activity kicks in, then completes the log and write the log to the file. We can also validate whatever is logged from the console. So here, if you see this line, this is when our BW application started. And then our first log activity is from the main process, which states that main process started, and it is also spawning non-inline subprocess. And once that is done, this is a separate thread, so it will go ahead and log the next message, which is activity waiting for the notification. And this log is coming from the subprocess, which says non-inline subprocess started, and this is what is logged after our sleep activity, which is notification sent for the waiting activity. Now, let's focus on what happened in between. So there is a sleep activity in our subprocess. And the sleep activity time is 60 milliseconds, it will sleep. And if you see here, the timestamp when the process is executed, it is 5:43, and the next log after the sleep is around 5:44. And This means that there is a 1 minute delay or sleep between the first log and the second log. And once the notification is sent to the main process, again, the main process states that notification received from the other process with data, and the result is mapped, and this is the results sent from the notifying process. This is actually mimicking some results being sent from the sub process from the business logic that is executed, which takes 60 seconds. And if you see the time again, it is 5:44, which is like 1 minute after we started the process execution itself. And this is what I wanted to show in this video. And I will come up with another video with another activity. And thank you.
Hey, welcome back. Now that we have seen TIBCO BusinessWorks Container Edition concepts and terminology, let's get some hands-on TIBCO Business Studio for BusinessWorks, which is used for application development. Once you launch this product, you will get to see this welcome screen where you will have few samples which comes right out of the box with this product, and also a quick start guide which will help you to learn TIBCO Business Studio for BusinessWorks quickly. I have launched a Cloud Pet Store service sample, which is a REST API, and it has two business processes. One is activator process, which will have two operations like I have covered in my earlier videos. It has on startup and on shutdown procedures. On shutdown procedure doesn't have any implementation here. It just logs a sample message saying stopping this application. However, it has on startup a procedure which logs a message and also has a set shared variable which will set pets information using pets root element, which has a repeating element called pet, under which we have few fields which contain information about the pets, like category, ID, name, what kind of pet it is, domesticated pet, and the name of the pet itself, and ID given to that particular pet, and a photo URL, which is a sample photo for that particular pet, and the status if it is available or not, and tags information which uh, which tells us what kind of pets those are, like dogs. The next one is cats, and likewise bird, fish, and rabbit, etc. And we have the actual process which has four REST operations: post, get, put, and delete. Post will add any additional pets of your choice. Get will get any information about particular pet. Put will modify any existing pet information, and delete will delete any pet you would like to delete. Okay, let's get started. We'll try to run this application. I'm going to click on debug configurations, which will give me debug perspective. So this window, it will show what applications are present in this particular application module, and you can select which processes to start. I will start both of them, the activator and the pet. Click on debug and it will take me to the debug perspective. Debug perspective will have the console, and on the right hand side you will see the job data. So it is trying to start the application, and we can see the logs here. Let's give it some time to start the application. Okay, it says started BW application and the application name itself. So which means it has started the application. And if you see on the left hand side here, the activator process already started and completed its on startup operation, and we can see the data what we have seen in the shared variable. So here in the shared variable, it has loaded all the pet information that is currently existing. We have 5 pet information. So now, in order to get the application URL, we can type a command called lrest doc, and it will give the application URL. I'll take this application URL and open in a browser. So this will give me the Swagger UI, which will have the operations which are configured in that application. So we have get, and for get we need to give the pet ID. Let me try it out, and I will give the pet ID as 3. We have 5 of them, and execute. And we got a 200, which is a success message, and the third pet is bird. And let's see another operation like post. We'll try to post a new pet. So let me try it out, and I will give pet ID as 6, and I will give the category of the pet. I'll give the ID as 6, and maybe I will categorize this as wild, and fill the rest of the details. Maybe I will give tiger. Tiger is not pet, but just for an example sake, I will use that. And the photo URL, I'll just use some random URL, and the status available, and the name of this tag is tigers, and the ID is 666 again. Let me try to execute this one. So it has added this new pet information. Let's see if this is successfully added or not. We can just try to execute get for pet ID 6, and let's execute it. And yes, we got that. So get is to fetch any pet information. Post is to add any new pets information in this application. And let's try to execute put, which we can try to modify any existing pet information. Like I will just use the same which I just added, and I'll copy these inputs from here. Now it says this particular pet is available when I do a get. I'll try to modify it to not available and see if it is updating successfully. So while pet's ID is 6, name of the pet is Tiger, and photo URL is tiger.jpg, and here I'll update it as not available, and the name is Tigers, and the ID is 6. Let me execute this, and we got an update, successful update 200, and it is updated as not available. So now go back to the top and execute this get again for pet ID 6, and oh sorry, I was posting, I'm sorry. Okay, so I need to execute uh, put again just to make it not available. So I have to go to the top. Okay, here it is, and let me execute, and yeah, it is not available. uh, Let me update it to, yeah, let me update it to just to run another example. I have executed it, and it updated it to back order. So now go back to the top and try to get it again, and it changed to back order. Okay, now let's see the last operation, which is delete, and let me try it out. And what I'll do, I'll just delete the pet ID 6, and I'll execute it, and it says the animal has been removed from the pet store. So just for the sake of our confirmation, I'll just execute the get again just to see any output. Okay, it says internal server error, which means it doesn't have that pet. Maybe I'll try with another example, and it's fish. Yeah. So if you see here, we have executed multiple operations. The first one is the get, and the next one is post, and we have tried get again, and we have tried put, and we have tried post by mistake. That was my mistake, my bad. And at the end we have tried put again, I believe. Yeah, and then we tried get, then we tried put operation, and the last one is get, then we tried delete. Yeah, delete, and then we tried the get again for deleted one, and we tried get for the fish example. So if you see here, there is an error which says cannot initialize a message part with a null value part of item. This error occurred when we gave 6 pet ID when after we deleted it. So that's why this error is thrown. Okay, so I'll stop it here. We will explore this product more as we go through this course, and stay tuned for more videos like this. And for more references, you can visit docs.tibco.com.
In this video, I will demonstrate how to install, configure, and deploy a TIBCO BW6 application in TIBCO Enterprise Administrator. otherwise known as T. I have downloaded the T software development kit from TIBCO website and launched the universal installer. Click Next, accept the license agreement and click Next. Choose the existing TIBCO home, and I have used custom installation to select all the installables that are available to install and provide the Java installation path. Click Install. Once the installation is completed, we have to start the TIBCO Enterprise Administrator. Go into Services, locate TIBCO Enterprise Administrator and start the service. Once the service is started, let's open the GUI. The default URL would be localhost 8777 and the user and password will be admin. Once we log in, we will set the mode of deployment as enterprise. In our previous video, we have used the mode as local. Now let's start the BW agent in our machine where TIBCO Enterprise Administrator is installed. And if Windows Defender Firewall is blocking the BW agent.exe, allow the access. The BW agent is now starting. Once that is completed, we have to register our machine with the T server. For that, we use BW admin register T agent. Once we register, if you refresh, you'll be able to see the agent which is running on my machine. Click on the URL and the product BusinessWorks. Now create a domain. In order to deploy an application, we would require a domain, app space, and at least one app node. I'm creating a domain called production. The description is optional. Once the domain is created, create an app space in the domain. I'm creating an app space. Give a name to the app space. And from the drop down, select the agent and click create. Now if you see the status is showing degraded, that is because at least one app node is expected. Now I'm going to create an app node inside the app space. Choose any HTTP port of your choice and try to validate if it is available and click create. Once the app node is created, try to start the app node. The app node and the app space are running now. Now let's try to upload the application that we have generated in our previous tutorials. This service converts the USD amount to INR. I have uploaded the archive. Now go to the app space and deploy the application in this app space. Select Start Applications of App Nodes after deployment and click Deploy. And if you see, the service is successfully deployed. Click on the application and on the Endpoints tab, you will see the endpoint URL for this particular application and give any USD amount in order to convert it to INR. And this completes this demo. In this video, I will demonstrate how to deploy a TIBCO BW6 application. I have created the enterprise archive file. We just need to drag and drop the application into the local folder, and it has created the ER file. And I'll exit this Business Studio. Now let's open the command prompt and go to bin location where BW admin utility will be available. Click enter and start the BW admin utility. The BW admin utility has started and we will be having a list of commands. To display all the list of commands, click tab and you can use help command to see what the syntax for each command would look like. Here I'm going to set the deployment mode as local. We will be having two modes, local or enterprise. For our training purpose, I'm deploying it in my local. And we have to have a domain created and an app space and an app node in order to deploy an application. I have created the domain training and go into the training domain using cd space domain name. There we have to create an app space. I have created AS1 app space and go inside the app space. And if you see the app space status as degraded because there should be at least one node created for it. I'm going to create an app node for this. So create minus HTTP port and the port should be unique, which is not used, and create an app node AN1. Now let's list the app node that we have just created. The app node is in stopped state. Let's try to start the app node. For that, I'll give the command start -d and the domain name training and -a the app space name. In this case, it is AS1 and app node AN1. I just faced an error that saying it is not localized. but let me try it again before I go and check the BW app node log file. Let me try starting it again. Okay, Windows Defender Firewall was blocking the app node in order to start. I have allowed the access, and now the app node has started. Now let's upload the ER file that we have created in the beginning. So in order to give the ER file path, we should use the / instead of /. The BW admin will be identifying only the /. So I have replaced the / with the / and click the path. Click enter and the archive is uploaded. Let's see the uploaded archives using show archives, and you can see my ER is uploaded. Now let's deploy this application. Deploy and give the application name and remove the path because we have already uploaded. Now let's try to see the applications using show application command, and if you see the status of the application is stopped. Now let's start the application. To start the application, we have to give start application and the application name, and it is important to give the version. Here in this case it is 1.0 and click enter. Okay, our application has started. Now let's see the status of the application again. It should be running. The status has changed to running. Now let's try to get the URL where our application is deployed in order to test it. To that, go into the app node and show the applications there, and it will list the application URL, and in this case it is localhost 8090 and our parameter is USD amount. In order to convert into INR, let's give some arbitrary USD dollar amount, and it has converted it into INR. Let's try a few more values. Okay, so this completes the demo. Thank you. In this video, I will demonstrate how to send emails with attachments to your Gmail using TIBCO Business Studio for BusinessWorks 6 or Container Edition. Now let's get started. I have opened the TIBCO Business Studio for BusinessWorks. Close the welcome screen. Now right click on the Project Explorer and click New Project. Click on BusinessWorks Application and click Next. In the project name, give the name as Send Mail App and click Finish. Now let's try to rename the default process name. Click on the bulb icon and rename it to Send Mail Process. Click on OK. Close the module and open the empty process. Now go to Palette Library, click on General Activities and add Timer Activity, which is the starter activity for this process, and next to it add Send Mail Activity from the mail palette. Once the send mail activity is created, we have to give the SMTP connection. For that, we need to create a shared resource, accept the default name, and go to the SMTP shared connection which we have created just now. Now in the machine name, give smtp.gmail.com and the port as 587. Click on test connection and enable confidentiality. Go down and create a SSL client shared resource. Accept the default name and click on the SSL client that just we created, and we have to use TLS version 1.2, and we have to provide a key store. So create a key store provider resource and click on it. Leave the default values as is and save. Now go to the SMTP resource and test connection. We have an error saying give the username. I'll give my Gmail ID and its password. At this point, you should make sure that you manage your Gmail account. Inside the security, you should allow other apps to access your account. I have given the password of my Gmail account and test the connection. It is successful. Now save the project and close this resource. Now we will map the input fields for the send mail activity. We have to give the from email address. I'll give it as my email ID and I'll send it to myself and give a subject simply saying this is a system generated email. Please do not reply. Now let's also map the body element. In the body element we have two choice elements. Either it can be a body text or a file name. We will try to map it using body text. For that, I just dragged some random value from the data source and editing it to the body text which I wanted to send. In this case, I'll write hello, you have received a new email. This completes the configuration to send an email to your Gmail account. However, we wanted to attach a simple text file in order to show how we can send attachments from the TIBCO BusinessWorks process. In the content disposition, we have to give the syntax as star semicolon file name is equal to file name, and in the content type, give it as text/plain. And now we have to attach the attachment. I have created a dummy file in my local. Now I wanted to choose the file name from the choice element and give the path of that particular sample text file and close in quotations to make it a string literal and save it. We have completed configuring our send mail activity. Now let's try to log in order to just verify if we have sent the email successfully. Go to General Activities, add a log activity, and inside the message, just type email has been sent successfully. Click on save, and we will try to run this process. Before that, I'll check my inbox. I don't have any new emails. Now run configurations, click on run, and go to the console. Let's see the logs. Application has started, and if you see the log message, email has been sent successfully. Now let's just verify in my email inbox, and you see the email is received. And if I open the attachment, I just have a message saying congratulations, you won $1 million, which obviously I didn't. This completes. In this video, I will demonstrate how to create a HTTP web service using TIBCO Business Studio for BusinessWorks 6 or Container Edition. I will use a simple use case to convert the US dollars into Indian rupees. Now let's get started. I have opened a workspace and click New Project. Give the project name as HTTP Web Service and click Finish. And rename the empty process by clicking on the bulb. Rename it to HTTP Web Service and click OK. Now open the empty process and go to the palette library. Click on HTTP palette and drag and drop HTTP receiver and click on HTTP send response. Connect both the activities and click on HTTP receiver. Create a HTTP connection. Rename it as HTTP server connection. Click on finish. Then click on adding a parameter and rename it as USD amount. And click on send HTTP response, and from the drop down for reply, use HTTP receiver. Inside the input, map the ASCII content. Now concatenate a string saying the USD amount entered is, and from the data source, click on HTTP receiver, and from the parameters, map the USD amount. Now add a simple string saying converted amount in Indian rupees. Now let's convert USD amount to Indian rupees as per the current rate in the present day. Now if you see, there is an error saying string to double conversion invalid. So try to force the USD amount to read it as a number, and after multiplication it is expecting it to be a string, So force it using string function. Now the error is resolved. Let's try to test this process. Before that, click on the HTTP connection to verify the host and port. Let's keep it as localhost and port 8080. Save the connection and close it. Now let's try to debug this process. Click debug. The process is getting started. Now the application has started. In order to find out the endpoint URL, click enter and type L endpoints. This will give the endpoint URL of the web services that we are currently hosting. It is HTTP localhost 8080. Now open the browser and use the parameter USD amount and give a value, say for example $10, and the converted INR is 732.8 rupees. Now instead of using web client, let's try to develop a simple web client process to invoke our web services through BusinessWorks itself. Create a new business process, rename it as HTTP web client process and click finish. Now click on the general activities and add a timer starter process in order to start this process. Now add a sleep activity just to make sure we are not invoking the HTTP web service before it starts. I have added a delay of 10,000 milliseconds. Now add HTTP send request activity. Let's configure the HTTP send request. Click on create a shared resource. This time we will create a client connection. Click on finish and add the parameter you wanted to send it. In this case, USD amount. Save it. Now click on input and give the value 10, for example. In order to print the output, let's add a logger to this process and map the response from the send HTTP request activity. Also make sure that in the HTTP client connection, the host and port are same as that we have used in HTTP server connection. Let's try to test this application. Click on debug. Now our application is getting started. Okay, it has started and it is currently waiting for the server to get started and send the request. Okay, the process has completed, and if you see the log print USD amount entered is 10 and the converted amount is INR 732.8. This completes this demo. Thank you. In this video, I will demonstrate how to create a JMS message and receive a durable response using TIBCO Business Studio for BusinessWorks 6 or BusinessWorks Container Edition. You will create two BusinessWorks processes, a publisher process and a subscriber process. The publisher process has JMS send message activity, which sends a message on a topic. The subscriber process has JMS receive message activity, which subscribes to the topic sent by the publisher. Also, the JMS receive message activity is configured as durable, allowing the messages to be received later if the receiver is offline. So let's get started. Give the workspace and click OK. Now click on File, New, Project. Click on BusinessWorks Application Module, click Next. Give the project name as Durable Subscriber. Select the deployment target, AppSpace and TIBCO Cloud. Click on Next. Click Finish. Now go to Processes and a Durable Subscriber package. Click on the process and let's rename the process. Click on the bulb. Give the name as Durable Subscriber Process. Click OK. Now close this. Click on the process. Now let's add JMS receive message activity. Go to palette library, click on JMS, drag and drop JMS receive message. Now click on the add button and select a log under general activities. Now let's configure JMS receive message. First create a JMS connection. Click on create shared resource, accept the generic name, and in the drop down select the JMS messaging style as topic and give the destination name as topic.sample. Now click on the checkbox for the durable subscription and give a subscription name for the durable subscription. Now save and click on the log activity. In the message, let's just give a message saying message received on the topic is, and from the data source click on JMS receive message body and map it. Click on save. This completes our durable subscriber process. Now go on the package, click on create a new business process, give the name as publisher process and click finish. Inside the publisher process, let's go to general activities and give a timer which is a starter activity. Now let's add a log from general activities. And let's log a message saying sending a message to the subscriber. Click on save. Add one more activity from JMS, which is JMS send message. Go to the General tab and choose the existing JMS connection we have configured for the subscriber and give the same destination name, which is topic.sample. Click on save. This has completed the configuration of JMS send message, and in the body, let's try to send a simple test message, sending a test message on the durable subscriber. Click on save and close this processes. Now we have to configure the JMS connection. Let's choose connection type as direct and messaging style as queue topic. Give the provider URL as localhost and port 7222. Make sure the EMS on the server is up and running. Give the client ID as 500 and try to test the connection. Now let's test this application. Click on debug configurations. Now we will try to first publish the message on the particular topic. The application has started, and if you see the log message sending a message to subscriber. And now let's go ahead and see the topic. It has one pending message which we just posted and one durable subscription which we have configured in the other process. Now let's try to receive that message. Go to debug configurations. This time let's select the durable subscriber process and let's see if we receive that message on that particular topic. The application has started and we have received the message that we have posted, and the message received on this topic is sending a test message on the durable subscriber. Now go ahead and see the topic. It has 0 pending messages, which means we have received the message on our durable subscriber. This completes the demo on the durable subscription on how to create it in TIBCO BusinessWorks. Thank you.
This is a demo on how to create a SOAP web service using TIBCO Active BusinessWorks 6. I'm going to create a new application module. Selecting the application module, click next. I'm going to name this application as SOAP service. Click next. Leave the default folders as is. Click next and finish. This will create a simple SOAP service application module with an empty process. I'm going to use this empty process to create the SOAP service. Click on the green arrow to create a service. It will open a new visual wizard. I'm going to leave all the default values as is, and I'll create an inline schema and click finish. I'm going to click on the operation. Go to the input. I'm having one input. I'm going to add one more to take 2 integer values and add them. I would rename them A and B, and I'll change the data type to integer and accept the changes. I'm going to right click on the operation, go down till operation and click on implement constructor operation, and this operation out will be the output for my SOAP web service. I'm going to change the string type to integer in the response and accept the changes. Click on the input and map the input to the output. Use an addition operation from the two inputs and then click on save. I would like to add a simple log activity to my process. Drop in the process canvas and drag the transition to connect to the operation out. I like to log a simple message saying this is a simple SOAP web service to add two numbers. I'm going to go ahead and save this. Now I have to add transport to my SOAP application. For that I'm going to click on the components, go to the process, click on the bindings and add a SOAP binding. Go down and select the transport type to HTTP. This will open a new shared resource wizard. Create on the shared resource and it will create a HTTP connector resource. Click on finish and I'm saving the project. This completes my designing of the SOAP application. I'm going to generate a whistle which is required for me to invoke it from SOAP UI. I'm going to use the local file system to save my whistle. I'm just renaming it to SOAP service. Click on next and then finish. I would like to test my process now. To do that, we already have two applications in my workspace, so I would initiate run configurations and select only SOAP service application and click run. I'm in the console view. While this application is getting started, I will go ahead and try to import my whistle into SOAP UI. For that, I will browse the whistle that I have just created and click OK. This is the input we have to give. I would like to add two numbers and I'll go ahead and see if my project has started. As soon as I see the started BW application, I would click enter and type L endpoints command to get the endpoint URL for my SOAP application. I'll copy this URL and paste it in the SOAP UI and click on get. So my output is 90 I would try to add some more example values and click. Output is 120. I would like to go and check the logs, and I have invoked my service 2 times, hence I got 2 log messages saying this is simple soap web service to add 2 numbers. This ends this demo. This is the demo on how to create a RESTful web service using TIBCO BusinessWorks 6 version. I have opened the Business Studio. I'm on the welcome screen. I'm going to go ahead and click on the workbench. It has taken me to the design view. I'm going to go ahead and create a new application module by clicking on new project. This will open a project wizard. I'm going to locate the application module and click on next. I'm going to name this application as REST service. Click on next. Leave all the default folders as is. Click on next and then finish. This will create a TIBCO BusinessWorks application module with an empty process. I'm going to delete it. I'm not going to use it. I'm going to go ahead and click on REST service package and create a new BusinessWorks REST resource. This will open my REST service wizard. I am going to leave all the default values as is and check the post operation and check get operation, as I am going to create a get operation. Click on next and then finish. This will create a REST resource with a get operation. The get out activity is where we configure the output for our REST application. I am going to give a simple hello world string for my application as an output and say welcome to BW6. I'm going to go ahead and save. I would like to add a logger to my process. For that I will go to general activities and go down till I locate log activity. Drop it in the process canvas. Drag this transition to connect to get output activity, and in the log message I am going to write a simple log message saying this is my first BW6 application. I'm going to go ahead and save it. With this I have completed designing my process. I would like to test my application. For that I am going to click on the play button. It is launching my application. Go to the console view to see the logs. We have to wait until the project gets started. As soon as I see the started BW application, I am good to go ahead and invoke my REST application. For that I am going to enter and get the REST URL for my application. For that I am going to type lrest doc command to get the discovery URL for my REST application. I am going to copy this URL and use a browser. Click enter. This will open the Swagger UI. TIBCO BW6.x has native support for Swagger UI. And click on the resource. We'll be able to see all the resources that got implemented. I have currently created a get resource. Click on the get and I would like to try it out. And I have got a message saying hello world, welcome to BW6 with a response code 200, which means it is successful. I'm going to the designer to see the logs. I'm able to locate the log which I have configured in the log activity. This is my first BW6 application. With this we have completed this demo.